Hey guys and dolls, welcome back. Today on my channel I have my very good YouTube friend Grace from Faces by Grace. Hi. And we always forget to film when we're hanging out though, so today we were like, no, we're sitting down and we're going to talk about a topic that the two of us, we've talked about this loads together, that like off camera and stuff like that, because we both have a history with anxiety and both of us have talked about that on our channels before, but we just filmed a whole like video where we talked about our journey. That's on Grace's channel, so these two videos kind of go hand in hand and it's going to be linked down below and at the end of the video, so hopefully you can watch both of those videos and check out Grace's stuff because her videos are amazing. Come on over to my channel. She's a makeup artist, like a proper makeup artist. I am not. This girl knows so much more than I do, so you're gonna love her videos. And so basically like what me and Grace did was we asked on Instagram, so our followers, so if you don't follow us on Instagram, definitely do, because especially for Q&As and things, I always try and get feedback from you on Instagram.
Same with me. I always ask on Instagram. A lot of them will overlap. There's a lot of things that we're going to say that will overlap and stuff that we'll probably mention on my channel as well. So if we miss something, it might be said on my channel, or if you have any other questions, just comment below and we'll try to get back to you.
Yeah, we're just gonna try and share with them as much as we can with these two videos, because like we do both get a lot of questions about it and it's something that's so common, and there's, you know, loads of you are doing exams and stuff right now, so it's all kind of coming back up to the surface. And yeah, just you're not alone in this, it's very common.
We all deal with it at some stage in our life.
We really do.
How do you deal with teachers forcing you to talk in front of class if you have panic attacks?
That's a really good question.
That is actually, when I was in school, I used to hate it so much when a teacher would ask me to read out loud.
Oh,
I remember when they were going around the classroom, I felt anxiety straight away. And I would get sweaty and I would stutter. It was just awful.
And where did that stem? Do you think it stems from the worrying about what other people are going to think when they're looking at you while you're talking? Like other people watching you talk?
That I am dyslexic and I find it really hard to read out loud. So I remember in college, we were in this Spanish tutorial and we always had to read aloud. And reading aloud in Spanish was like 10 times worse. So I remember just saying to my teacher at the end of the class, I really don't feel comfortable reading out loud, so please just bypass me. I don't want to make a big deal about it. So if you just are honest about it and just, it's not that you don't want to do it, it makes you really uncomfortable.
If you want to like tell someone, like a teacher or something like that, they're not going to judge you. They've probably had so many other students.
They've heard it before. So.
Yeah. Our next question is just wondering, did you find any products, food to help with it? I got a spray in Holland and Barrett's, that's a health food store here, but I really don't think that it works. And one thing, I don't believe that there's like one miracle cure product for anxiety. You can't buy one bottle that's
just going to make it
go away.
And it's definitely not going to work for everyone. It's just like your individual self, there's things that you can do, but like there's not one bottle of anxiety cure.
Yeah.
If we don't take it.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of like, have we found something that did help us? For me, a couple of things would be, definitely, I've talked about this before, lavender oil. Like, so, you know, like oil diffusers and stuff, putting lavender and stuff. I love that scent.
So
it's
much.
so calming. And you can get specific, like, you know, I'm into Lush, like bath bombs and things. There's actually Lush have a bath bomb that's for panic and stress and stuff like that. Certain scents, like ylang ylang, I think that's how you call it. So there is definitely certain things that if you incorporate them into your routine, it can help with calming. And there's certain supplements. Have you ever taken a specific supplement that really helped?
I took in Australia St. John's wort.
Oh, we've heard about that. I've never tried it.
I don't know if it did much. Maybe it's the idea of taking something that makes me calmer.
Placebo
effect. And there was another thing, anxiety, something I can't really remember, but I also used to always put my lavender drops on my pillow at night.
Loved doing that.
Just helped
so
me
helpful.
I find Rescue Remedy really, really good. My mum gave that to me.
What's that brand? Back.
Yeah.
Back's Rescue Remedy.
Like I got that since my childhood. When I was like going on my first holiday, my mum used to give me a couple of drops, but I still have it now and I still find it really, really calms me down. And it's like a safety blanket. I have it with me for any situation.
It's like an association, even an association between that and feeling calm can definitely help. So yeah, I wouldn't rule out trying different things. Just try around, find things that do help you calm down. But there's no one thing you're going to take that's going to get rid of it, because as like that, then no one would have anxiety.
I actually take tablets, like prescribed tablets from the doctor. I've previously been on antidepressants, and I don't really agree with them, but I do take Lexotan, which is I don't really know what it is. It's like a relaxant.
Yeah.
So when I'm having a really bad panic attack, which happens quite a lot, I'll take one of them and it chills me out. It's like Valium.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I the ones I tried were Xanax.
Yeah.
And when my panic attacks and stuff were really bad, I needed them. So I would never tell anyone, like, don't take medications. I am quite against medication in general. I'm just in favor of like living a healthy lifestyle. But sometimes
when it's bad,
you need,
it's bad,
there was times where I needed something, like my dad and my partner, no one knew what to do or how to help me, so that helped. But in terms of like foods, as you asked, like I was told by a dietitian that a handful of cashew nuts it releases the same amount of serotonin in your brain as an antidepressant, and so eating like natural food, like whole foods and stuff, try and have as many whole foods in your diet as possible. I always say
diet always helps.
It's so massively affects your brain chemistry and everything like that. So if you notice that you are eating a lot of processed stuff, maybe a lot of wheat or a lot of dairy.
Aspartame is one of the causes of anxiety. Do you know that chemical?
Yeah, in Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Diet drinks, get rid of them. Just, you don't need them. You can transition slowly onto water. Like what I did was, I was mad into Coke, right? So instead of having Coke, I went on to Diet Coke, which is really bad. Then I went on to like juice, like, orange juices and that kind of thing. Then there's like fizzy waters that are calorie free and stuff. Then I started putting like lemon and fruit into water, and now I just love water on its own.
Yeah.
So do it slowly, like.
It's progression.
Yes.
I also, just on the end note of that, chamomile tea. It's really good.
Yes, chamomile tea, like teas in general.
At night time, it just is relaxing.
It's like an elixir, like a potion.
Yeah.
It's so nice to, and it always seems like an effort. Like I went through phases, right, where I'd buy loads of boxes of tea, and I'd be like, oh, I don't really want tea. I want like Easter eggs. Like you just make yourself put on the kettle and drink it. You'll learn to like the perfumed flavor of like those kind of teas, because it's not like normal tea at all. I prefer them. That we were having this conversation a while ago.
I do like Vanilla Lion's tea though.
Oh yeah, a good old bit of tea. So next question is, what do you do before going into an exam to make sure you're calm and prepared? And for exams, like, because I only did my thesis and my final year in university last year, and I was vlogging the whole time through that, I was so stressed out and I was freaking out all the time. I was really anxious. So I don't have too much advice on it. The things that did help me was going for really long walks every night, making sure I was as prepared as possible for the exam. And my dad sat me down one night and he said to me, and this just stuck with me, he was like, this exam is not worth the amount of anxiety and stress you're feeling for it, because it's just an exam. You can do it again, and even if you can't do it again, your life isn't going to end. So making sure that I wasn't taking it so seriously.
And just doing the best you can, because at the end of the day, right before an exam, there's nothing more you can do. You've studied as much as you can. There's no point in panicking, because that's it. There's nothing more. It's just then in the balance of whether you know the stuff or not.
Yeah.
There's no point in working yourself up. And it's so hard to sit here and say that, because I've been through it all the way through college. I was like so anxious, and I didn't realise until now when I look back, and I was like, oh my god, I put so much pressure on myself, and it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it does. It always does, and things will always get better. So right before an exam is the most tense, horrible, like butterfly thing you'll ever feel, and right after that exam,
so relieving.
No matter how bad you do, it's just like the best thing.
It's done, and there's nothing more you can change.
Exactly. The next question is basically asking if she should go see a psychiatrist or try and fix it by herself. She said, I don't like talking about my feelings to almost anyone, but with a stranger, no. And that's very understandable. It's really hard to talk about how you feel, like your innermost feelings. It can be terrifying even telling family and friends, but telling a stranger is like so terrifying. But I feel like you need to talk to somebody, especially about this. Even if you feel like you're having mild anxiety, I think it's so important.
It's better to get it out verbally than to keep it inside, because the longer you keep it in your head, the worse it gets. And anxiety is like, once you start to give it that fuel, it thrives on it. And then it gets worse and worse, and then you're just so involved in your own head that you don't know what's going on. The minute you, like, if I sat down with Melanie and I was like, listen, I'm having this crazy anxious thought, she'd turn around and be like, Grace, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the minute I hear that and get that reassurance, it's so much better.
Yeah.
And I've been to 3 different counsellors, and as hard as it is on the first day going in, once you're in there, you're just like, this person has heard 10 times more crazier stories than I'm going to tell them.
Yeah.
And they're trained to understand and trained to give you coping mechanisms.
Exactly.
Which helps you see that what you're feeling and what you're thinking is normal.
Exactly.
And
the
hardest part is making that I'm going to do it and walking into the office and booking that appointment.
Yeah.
After that, it's great to get all your feelings out there.
It really is. Make the first step by just deciding, right, I'm going to do this. And when you go in, you'll be surprised at how good it actually feels to talk to someone. And like what happened the first time I went in, she was like so nice. She had these kind of beanbag things, so we were sitting like down on the floor, and it was really calm and really nice atmosphere and stuff. But what we did was she just kind of asked me a couple of questions, and I ended up spilling my guts.
Like you can't stop talking, and they just sit there
they don't even do anything or judge you or anything like that. She basically just dragged up all this stuff, so I came out with so much stuff about my past and that I never thought was causing any problems for me, like silly things that I just thought was totally normal, that were actually really bugging me deep down. And once I talked through them, and I kind of then had a better understanding of where a lot of my feelings were stemming from. So I would definitely advise that you go see a psychiatrist.
100%. I've always said that on my other videos, is just to talk. Like, the best thing to do for anyone that suffers from anxiety or depression is to talk to anybody. And there's so many people that'll listen, and if not, we'll listen.
Yeah, exactly. So write
down
in the comments, even if it's anonymous, and talk to each other, give each other some advice if you're scared about going to a professional.
Next question is, any tips for relaxation or on keeping positive when it gets too much? And I think when I'm in the moment and I'm so involved in my head, the one thing I forget to do is relax and do the things I know I should do. So it's about being self-aware of what you're going through and being like, right, I'm feeling anxious, I'm going to take a minute to myself, calm myself down, and then go back to what I was doing, because it usually comes from when you're stressed and you're
so
overdoing something.
Everything. Like, isn't it like mindfulness? You talked about that in your blog.
Mindfulness is so important.
I feel like there's just so many books out there about mindfulness and stuff. I hugely urge you to read up on mindfulness, what that actually means. It's actually living in the moment and zoning out everything that's going on in your head, all these kind of nagging thoughts and this tightness in your chest and everything like that, focusing in on the actual moment and thinking what is making me feel like this and what can I do about it. Just that realization is
once you like come out of your head and into the present moment and think like, here I am sitting in a chair, there's nothing that's happening to me, like just being present in the moment. That's what mindfulness is about, and just being aware of your thoughts, because that's all it is thoughts. And once you kind of step away from the situation and realize what it is, then it's so much better.
Yeah.
And meditation is really good for relaxation.
Yeah, so good. There's so many amazing YouTube videos that teach you how to meditate, and I've watched a lot of these myself. I just type in like meditation and yoga and things like that, and they're so calming. Like when I get really bad, I think there's something I got introduced to recently called ASMR. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It sounds really weird, okay? It's basically where people, it's huge on YouTube though, they get millions of views, these videos, but people whisper kind of to the camera and they kind of role play and talk to you, like whispering. There's a lot of like the Sakoni Jolies and things are watch those videos, and a lot of people have been talking about it recently as this kind of, it's this weird taboo thing, but it really helps. It gives me this kind of tingling relaxation feeling. So I'll put it on in a dark room while I'm lying in bed with my hot water bottle and my lavender drops on my pillow, and just, it really helps me calm down. Focus on your breathing.
Do like a body scan. I always find is good to like actually physically feel your body, and as opposed to being in your head. Like once you feel like the sensations or clothes touching you, you can't focus on anything else.
Yes.
Or if you focus on your breath, you can't actually focus on your thoughts. So like it makes them go away. That's what mindfulness is, meditation, relaxation. It's just making you aware, and then it stops you thinking.
Yes, I love that. That's so good. You're great for your little advice.
I've been through it all.
So, have you ever experienced sudden, coming from nowhere, kind of unexpected anxiety or panic attacks? If so, how do you deal with them? Thank you in advance. Love you. Okay, so for me, that's so cute. For me, I definitely struggle with this, because what I got diagnosed with was called generalised anxiety disorder. And
me too.
Yeah, it's like, it's the kind of one that you can never, like, I always feel like I want to come on here and be like, oh yeah, I'm fine, I'm over that, and this, that, and the other. And to an extent, I am. I'm a lot better than I used to be, but I was talking to Grace about this earlier. Like, I definitely still struggle really bad sometimes, and just out of nowhere, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and if you follow me on Snapchat and stuff like that, I was posting about this, but it got so bad for no reason. Like, just normal life stresses are there always, but out of nowhere I just felt like horrible. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere. I was turning down going to things that I got invited to, and I had people coming over, and I was dreading, like, when, you know, how am I going to be when they get here? Am I going to have to act differently and put on, like, act like I feel fine? And, you know, I didn't want to leave the room, basically.
Like, I wrote a blog post the other day. Sometimes I can be 10 minutes into a panic attack before I even realise it. And I'm focusing on other things that I'm not actually aware of what's happening. So when that comes on, like a couple of weeks ago myself, I went through a really bad patch. Stuff was changing, and your body can't really deal with change, and that's what brings on anxiety. So like stress related things or changing things in your life. And then you just need to become aware of it and realize that what you're going through is something that everyone is going through, and just stop for a minute. And when it comes on, like, it can come out of nowhere. Like, some people have never been anxiety sufferers, and then boom, they have like an accident or like postnatal depression. It brings it all on. It could come at any point, and just to know that what it is anxiety, because for the longest time I didn't realize what I was feeling was anxiety. I just thought I was a weirdo. I thought, like, what is wrong with me?
Everyone seems to
why
think
am I
that.
feeling like this? And then one day I had a light bulb moment, and I was like, oh, it's anxiety. That's grand, sure.
Yeah.
That's who I am. Like, I'm not going to fight it anymore. And what my counsellor told me was, the more you fight it, the worse it gets. Like, if you physically are tense in your body, you're feeling pain. If you're just relaxed and think, yeah, okay, there's anxiety, I'm gonna have a bad few days, and then I'll come back better from it. Like, that's what you do. Like, when I'm stressed, I feel stressed. I
You
feel
have to
that
feel
pain.
it though. I feel like you have to feel it. Like, if it's going to come, you have to let the wave pass. Because if you try and
when you fight it, the worse it gets.
It builds up then. You have to just let it come and don't feel bad. Like, I go mad and I feel like I'm overreacting, because I start going, like, screaming like I can't breathe. I do this, like, I start feeling my pulse to see if I'm still, like, my heart is still beating, which is so stupid, but
that's what panic attacks are.
Yeah.
Like, it's an overwhelming
you feel like you're
sensation.
choking and you can't breathe, and oh, sorry, my phone. But it's like you can't breathe, and you feel like no one else can understand. You even can think that all these weird feelings and pains in your body, like you're dying.
Real. I was I was about to say that. When I have a panic attack, I literally, 1 minute it's like, oh, I have a really bad headache, and then like 2 seconds later I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually dying. Oh my god, I must have cancer. Oh my god, I have a brain tumor. And then that's when the panic attack comes in.
I went to the emergency room one time thinking I had a brain tumor, and I made them do a scan on me, and Shane had to sit there for a day and a half. It's awful.
But that's the mind, and that's how powerful it is. And what I do is, as soon as I feel that coming on, it happened to me the other night, I said to Chris, I'm having a panic attack, and straight away he stopped and just said, right, and he brought me back out of it, because I didn't let it get too far where I was like hyperventilating. I just was aware that it was happening, stopped myself, talked it out, and then sure, like 10 minutes later it was grand, and I was like a new person.
Yeah.
And when you're in it, it's like completely different to when you are not normal, completely different to when you're feeling fine.
Yeah.
Like, that 20 minutes of a panic attack or an anxiety attack,
It's like you're not even in your body. It's like you're
an out of
watching
body
your
experience.
It
isn't
is.
it? And then you're grand.
You're fine.
Like nothing happened.
It literally, and then you're looking back thinking, like, I look back and think, like, I'm so embarrassed by what I just did. If someone else sees it happening, because the people who would see it happening would be like my dad, my brother, my boyfriend, and I feel so embarrassed that I was so. I feel like I'm a helpless little child, and that I need them to somehow help me.
Babied. I feel so vulnerable, and even in social situations when I'm having a panic attack, I always feel really rude, because I'm so involved in my head that people are like, she's not even talking, and I'm like panicking. Like, it can come anytime.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with the situation and be aware that that's what's happening.
So this question is really good. What's the best way to explain to somebody who doesn't really understand how anxiety affects you? I find I frustrate people when I constantly back out of plans and decline offers to go somewhere I know I won't feel comfortable being, and I often come up with excuses instead of being honest with them. I'm just not sure how to open up about it. Looking forward to the video. thank you so much for your question. It is so hard to tell people, especially if they're like not really close friends, but they're just acquaintances and stuff. Like we get that a lot with YouTube. You get invited to a lot of events and, you know, things with people that you might not know very well, but you kind of know them through the internet and stuff. And it's really
very
hard.
daunting. Like walking, like people have social anxiety, but can you imagine walking into a room with people and then getting a panic attack? Like I can totally relate to that and know how hard it is, but I think the more you stop doing things and the more you don't go places and stay in and avoid those situations, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to put yourself out of your comfort zone and just go for it and just give it a go. Even spend a half an hour there, or just go do it, because the more you stop,
that's such good advice.
Then you'll never do it.
Because I really like that advice. That was what someone said to me like years ago. When I wouldn't go to anything, and it built up to a point where there was nearly a whole year that I didn't go to anything, and that year of my life I can't even remember it. It was so bad. All I did was play online computer games all night, and I used to sleep all day. And we talked about that on Grace's channel. How I broke that cycle is that first off, with telling people, I kind of just started to explain what had been going on and why I hadn't been going to things, and I preferred to do it through like text, like online, because I couldn't say it to them on the phone. It's harder to say it to their face. But what I did to break the cycle is just for one thing that I got invited to was a night out in Navan where I used to live, and I just said, okay. Even I did not want to go. I was literally in the middle of like saying no, but I had been told by my auntie, and she was just like, just go to something and go to it. If you don't like it, come home, but just go and just see how you feel and stuff like that. And it was so scary, but I'm so glad I did, because it broke that cycle, and then I didn't have to be in that situation where I had to keep making excuses, because I'd broken it. And now it still happens now and again, but when I do have to tell someone now, it's not so daunting anymore, because they know and they understand.
Yeah, and people do understand. Like your friends, if they're your real friends, will know, okay, maybe Grace is having a bad day, like, and they'll totally understand. Like for so long, friends in Australia of mine would say like, can we do anything for you? Like what is going on? And I just say, no, listen, I'm just in a bad place and I need to just chill out and do it by myself. And they just gave me my space. But it's hard to say. Now I'm like an open book. I'll tell the world that I'm anxious. Sure, I'm telling the internet now. But it's just taking them first few steps to telling someone, and then it's just like, it's fine.
It's like a plaster. If you to take a plaster off, you hate like the first, it pulls at the hairs and it's like, ow. If you rip it off, just do it, and just tell them. If they're gonna judge you, you don't want them in your life anyway. No. So think of it that way with every single person that you have to tell. And
9 times out of 10, they're feeling that way as well.
Exactly.
You'll have them moments in your life when you're anxious, so everyone kind of gets it now, and it's talked about a lot more.
Yes, the stigma with this is really being smashed in the face. Smashed. So this question is from Sophia's blog 97. Anxiety makes the majority of us eat more, and as a result we turn out to be emotional eaters. Are there any tips to prevent that from happening? I was such an emotional eater in the past. Oh my god, like I don't even know how. I can't. That's another video right there. I was such an emotional eater, and tips for that, the best tips that I can give you is treat every meal as a new start, as a fresh blank slate. So if you do emotionally eat and you binge, or you eat a load of stuff that you feel guilty about, just that's gone. That past is in the past. The future hasn't happened. The present is all that you have. So your next meal, try and pick something that is going to be very filling and healthy. Like healthy foods are very, very filling. Even if it's something like a baked potato. I know it's white, it's carbs, it's this, it's that, but it's very satisfying. So eat meals that are going to fill you, because emotionally is usually trying to fill that hole. But if your body is physically full, you've lots of fiber and nutrients, your body is going to be so repulsed by your mind trying to, it's the signals aren't there. So when people are emotionally eating, they're often eating junk, like a box of Pringles and a big Dairy Milk chocolate bar and a McDonald's. You're not going to get anything your body needs from that, so that you can then keep eating and eating and eating. So my best advice is to just treat every meal as a new meal, and to do your best with every new meal to eat healthy.
I am like the total opposite to that. When I'm anxious, I've never overeaten. When I'm anxious, I can't eat at all.
Really?
And I went through months of like vomiting because the minute I tried to eat something, my stomach would reject it. And my counsellor told me it's because your body is getting into the fight or flight mode.
The total opposite end of the scale. I think a lot of people I know are like that, like my boyfriend and stuff. He said if he would get really stressed or anxious, he would lose his appetite.
Well, I didn't realise when I was like that that's why it was. I thought like, why can't I eat? Like there's something wrong, but it's your body is rejecting the food.
Yeah.
So like for so long I suffered with this eating disorder of not being able to eat. Not because I didn't want to eat, but because the thought of it like repulsed me and I would gag.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was awful. But now I know what it's like. Now I know what it is and I've dealt with it and I can control it myself now. So if there's people out there that's happening to you, that's why.
Yeah, that's really good. So I bet you there's people watching who feel like that as well.
Yeah, and don't even realise.
I feel like it's so good that you even know that you're emotionally eating, because realizing that you're emotionally eating is the most important thing, because so many people do that for years and years and gain a ton of weight and they don't even, then they wake up one day and they're morbidly obese and they have to then start from there and lose all that weight, and they don't realize that they've been emotionally eating until they go on these TV programs and some professional tells them. So well done that you even realize that. Is so important to be in tune with yourself. Thank you so much for all your questions. There's so many questions there that we didn't get to answer, but a lot of the other things came up in the video that we did on Grace's channel. Can't even talk. I haven't been talking for so long. So I hope you guys would check out that video, and I hope you enjoyed Grace's channel because she has some amazing content that is so what you would like if you've subscribed to me in the first place. And we're going to do lots more videos together in the future.
So come over to my channel and check us out there.
Cool.